Yo, it's your boy Wolf, and today we're gonna go over the Scarecrow build, aka the Assassin build for Ghost of Tsushima Legend. Now this build you can run through any nightmare situation, albeit story, rivals, survival, or Tales of Io. Now, as a disclaimer, this is my personal build. This build works for me. It may work for some, may not work for others. You need to find what works for you, but I personally love it. I love the playstyle, I love how it works, but in the end, find what works for you. So, let's get into it. So first we're going to go over techniques. Now, this is a toxic burning build. All my damage comes from poison and fire. So, let's go over the class abilities. Toxic Vanish. Vanish a cloud of poison smoke that deals stagger damage to nearby enemies. Group Vanish. Vanish along with nearby allies. Refreshing Vanish. Vanish in a burst of energy that heals you and nearby allies. Here's how I see it. I'm an assassin. My job is to kill. Not to protect, not to heal, but to kill. So, since this is a toxic build, this is one of the main staples of what you need. Perk 1, critical hit, inflict 30% more damage on assassinations. You don't need that. That's good for starting off, but you don't need that for this build. Super Strike, perform a stronger stealth attack, dealing 2 times normal damage at the cost of 1 resolve. That is a waste of resolve. Your special does more damage than this, so don't need it. Skip. Assassin Unleashed, decreases class ability cooldown by 15%. We have pretty much items that has a ability cooldown reduction, so don't need it. Skip. Legendary, increase the number of legendary items you can equip by 1. You do need this for the build that we are going to be using. So, perk 2, Might Stealth, and silent while running. That's stupid. Don't need it. You have stats that can actually increase your stealth so that you can literally walk into an enemy's face and they take about 2 to 3 seconds to figure out what the fuck they're looking at. Skip. Opportunist. Deal 50% bonus assassination damage to staggered enemies. Don't need that, because the poison in the fire is going to take care of that, so that is a waste. Next. Deft Hands. Critical strikes and assassinations reduce all ghost weapon cooldowns by 3 seconds. Again, you have stats on your equipment that actually reduces ghost weapon cooldowns, so don't need it. Next. Deadly Nightshade. Poison also damages enemy health. This is the crux of your build. You need this. If you do not have this, the build will not work. This is important. You need this, because when you have this, pretty much they will drop like flies. They will die slow. So, perk 2, Deadly Nightshade. Perk 3, Shadow Storm. Shadow Strike gains 2 extra strikes. Don't need that. Next. Chain Vanish. Successfully assassinating an enemy while vanished reactivates Vanish and refreshes the duration. This is another staple of the build. You need this. You will love this. This is a necessity. And when it comes to the equipment, you will have other perks that adds on to this and stacks with this, which I will show you. You need this. Next, perk 3, Legendary. Pretty much know what it is. Don't need it. Overshadow. Shadow Strike attacks do 100% extra damage. Don't need this. Don't worry about it. So, recap. Class ability. Toxic Vanish. Perk 1, Legendary. Perk 2, Deadly Nightshade. Perk 3, Chain Vanish. Now, let's look at the gear. Quick run through. Water Katana. Epic. Heaven Sing. Legendary Blowgun. Assassin Charm. Epic. Magma Bomb. Legendary. Smoke Bomb. Epic. Let's run through the stats. So, with the stats, I have melee damage. Speaks for itself, increases melee damage. Ability cooldown reduction. Any abilities that you have reduces the cooldown effect on it by that certain percentage. That stacks. So the more ability cooldown reductions you have, the better it will be. Poison Blade. This helps tremendously, especially during melee. Melee attacks have a chance to apply the poison effect. And since we already have the perk, poison does damage. Way of the Flame, and at the katana to apply burning damage to melee attacks for a short time. So, if the poor bastard is poisoned and on fire, then he will die a slow, painful death. Very useful. I prefer the water katana. You can use whatever katana you like, but I prefer the water style because it's awesome, it's efficient, it's quick to the point, quick on the draw. I like it. Next, your range. You can use any range you want. This is not really a deal breaker for this build, but I prefer the blowgun. It is surgical, it is precise, it takes out your enemy from afar, and they do not notice you are there. The whole point of being an assassin. Heaven's Sting. Darts have a 20% chance to instantly kill non-Oni targets. I love it. So say if you're shooting your blowgun at non-Oni opponents and they instantly drop, hey, that's better for you. Status effect duration. This is very useful, and this builds up, it stacks up. So, increase duration of all status effects and stuns from abilities. That includes poison and fire. They burn for a lot longer, and they puke their guts out for a lot longer, and they die a slow, painful death. That stacks. Stealth. While in stealth, enemies take longer to detect you. As I was talking about before, you don't need that silent run perk because that is a waste of a perk. With the stealth, you can literally run up to their face, slap them in the face, call them a bitch, and they will take about 5 to 10 seconds to recognize what you said and have done. This is very helpful. Very, very helpful. I suggest getting it. Hallucination darts. Hallucination darts cannot be equipped and cause enemies to blindly attack one another. It causes people to lose their shit. Very useful. Especially if you see a huge group of enemies, or if you're trying to capture a point, you can't reach it, shoot one of these bad boys at an Oni target, which I suggest, and everybody will pull their attention to them as that person loses their shit, which is hilarious and awesome to watch from a distance as they fight 5-on-1 and the 1 is beating the 5. Sheer piercing ammo. If you see a big guy with a shield and you wear it, oh, I need to shoot him in the head and the leg and the arm and the butt. Don't have to worry about it, because with this, the ammo from the weapon pierces shields. Very useful. Very, very, very useful. Close quarters or distance. Again, choose whatever range weapon you want, but that's my preference. It's more surgical. Next, Assassin's Charm. This is a must-have. If you do not have this charm, this build will not work. So this is mandatory. Status effect damage. Let's go over it right quick. Pretty much speaks for itself. Increase damage of fire and poison effects. Your whole build is fire and poison, so you need this. Is at 15%. I'm not going to re-roll it because I have to use items. 15%, 18%, not really a big deal. This, Toxic Vanish Radius. Increases the radius of Toxic Vanish. Toxic Vanish is your class ability when you go into smoke and you fart on all the enemies, making them nauseous, i.e. poison. It increases the radius so everybody else can smell your shit. That is super helpful. Chain Vanish. Successfully assassinating an enemy while Vanish reactivates Vanish and refreshes the duration. Stacks with Chain Vanish perk. And let's not forget, the Chain Vanish allows you, if you do assassinate an opponent using your Toxic Vanish, you get to do it again. You will turn invisible, release an additional cloud of poison smoke, and it continues, and it adds on to the class perk of Chain Vanish. So get that, you need this. And Hysteria, my favorite. Whether you're invisible, whether you're visible, doesn't matter. You pretty much stab someone in the neck from behind and everyone else loses their shit from the sight of a ninja dressed as a demon stabbing their friend in the neck. They lose their shit and they attack each other in their hysteria while you sit on the bench and laugh. I love it. It is awesome. I suggest getting it, although the perks do not matter.
近づいてきている。クロードを生きたまま食い殺そうと鬼が待ち構えていた。死んでもらうぞ。地獄に落ちろ。
Moving on, Magma Bomb. Reason why I got Magma Bomb. You can use Spirit Kunai. I've seen people use Spirit Kunai. I do not want to use Spirit Kunai. Lady Sonya Surprise. Don't really need that because this is a Scarecrow build. Magma Bomb attaches to an enemy and explodes, staggering anyone caught in the blast and creating a small smoke cloud. Now, if you do not know, while you are in a smoke cloud, you have the chance to perform either a critical strike to enemies with a lot of health, or if the enemy is weak, you can do an assassination. And as we already know, with the Assassin's Charm, if you assassinate an opponent, it causes everyone else to lose their shit, which is extremely helpful. Now, status effect duration. We already know what that is. With these items, or these perks, they stack. So 50% status effect duration added on to the other status effect duration from blowgun, that's 30%. So poison fire lasts 30% longer. That definitely makes a difference, and it's super helpful. The longer they burn, the longer they shit on themselves, and the longer they lose their shit. Matters. Cooldown reduction on kill. Pretty much every kill you get reduces the cooldown on the item by 4 seconds. If you look at the actual description, above the description, it's a natural 90-second cooldown. So each kill you get reduces the cooldown by 4 seconds. If you're in a mob and people are dropping and dying from your poison and your fire, that reduces the cooldown automatically, so you can keep throwing bombs. Fire it up, lights targets on fire, speaks for itself. Radius, pretty much lights more people on fire. Pretty self-explanatory. Lucky, 50% chance to instantly reset cooldown on use. Don't need it. That's a waste of time, a waste of space, a waste of life. Don't worry about it. Next, Smoke Bomb. Now, this is very useful. This is get out of a dodge card. This is a pretty much if you're in some shit, drop down, creates an area of smoke at your location. So, cooldown reduction. Pretty much reduce the cooldown because it is at 120 seconds. Now, if you can get the cooldown reduction on kill, get it, because that cooldown is ridiculous. You're doing assassinations, you'll be able to drop them more. I am not even going to attempt to re-roll this because, yeah, I'm gonna need to do more cursed items. So I said, screw it, it's not worth going through all that trouble. Stealth attack damage, increase the damage done during stealth attacks. Speaks for itself. Munitions, very helpful. Creates random ammo pickups on use. Extremely helpful. You need this. You want this. In case you need more bombs, arrows, blow darts. You can actually sit in the cloud, gain a sense of the battle, see who you want to pick off while you're sitting in the cloud of smoke, regain your surroundings, and pick out who you want to pick off next. Now with this build, if you're sitting in a smoke cloud, you need poison darts, hallucination darts, weakened darts. Pick them up when they drop. Scout the battlefield, scout the point, see who you want to cause to hallucinate. If everyone's not losing their shit already, pick a victim. Found an Oni, shoot him with a dart, you're good to go. Some blades.
イオの税を守ろうと必死だ。
That's what I do. And it gives you another resolve. So if you need to do your special and get to the point right quickly, you can do that. Say someone's all the way on the other side of the map, you can't get there in time. Drop the smoke, fill your resolve, pop your special, and when you get close enough, assassination attack. So that is it for the equipment for the Scarecrow build. Now again, you can swap out the range, you can swap out the ghost weapon. But an absolute must that you must have is the assassination charm. You cannot do without this assassination charm for this build. If you do not have it, you are screwed. Now with all that said and done, as a reminder, this is my build. This is the build I use to run all Nightmare scenarios. Nightmare Story, Nightmare Survival, Nightmare anything. Find what works for you. This should help you get a good idea of how the stats work in the game, how the algorithms work, so you can figure it out. So, if you like this video, drop a like, click subscribe, and I may do another build video for another class. With that said, Wolf out. Akita Manai.